Hey folks, welcome back to the channel, your home for all content Lord of the Rings home. Today I wanted to make an account update video to show you what happens after you hit level 60, what my particular priorities are, what I'm going to be focusing on in the future. I thought this was maybe just worth a video to explain what's going on. Well, my first priority is I got to finish gearing up elves. Let me show you. These are my elves. They're all obviously level 60, except for Lomian. I am going to get him up, but I'll get to that in a second. They're not all their skills aren't quite up, and you can obviously see that they're 5 stars. So I'm actually working on getting Elrahir and Lomian up to 6 and 7 stars. But the reason I'm going to continue to work on them is mainly because I keep slipping in arena. I sit pretty comfortably in Mithril 1, and if I push really hard, I can get into, what is this, champions, right? And that's a pretty big like gem differential, but I'm starting to slip, usually against teams that have some sort of like weird combination. Either they've got Brute or some other ones have Ironhide or a combination of those types of things. Even, yeah, ones with like Aemir and Halbarad, or I've seen Eothane that I actually really struggled against. And I think that's mostly just because, let me get back to my elves. I don't have everything maxed out for my elves yet, especially their skills. So Eladin's going to be my next priority here, taking up his special one to all the way to tier 6, and then, getting their basics up as well. I actually think the basics might be playing a lot bigger role in this game than I initially thought, and that leveling the basics is actually really good. But, elves are essentially a like synergy and kit based team. So like the more resources you put into their skills, just the better they are. And then obviously the star levels are going to help too. But I'm getting Elrahir and Lomian up to 6 and 7 stars just because I want to get Elrond to 7 stars when he comes back around. So as soon as Arwen and Eladin become farmable, I'm going to also take them to 7 stars. And then when they announce that Elrond's coming back, I'll probably just start farming Naramiri up to 7 stars. I'm actually having a little bit of trouble because Elrahir's Guild Chapter 3, right? But I need the gold from Guild Chapter 5 to, and the purple mats to continue to sort of like gear up these characters as much as I can. So I think what I'm going to do is actually just farm Elrahir till he gets 6 star, and then take a break, go back to Guild Chapter 5, farm a bunch more gold, get everybody's skills up to kind of where I want them to be, and then I'll go back to Elrahir at 7 stars eventually when I feel a little bit more comfortable. So first and foremost, I am getting my elves up. But currently I have sort of 2 big holes in my roster, and that has to do with the challenges. So the first one is, yep, this one right here. Forged in the Deep, obviously light crystal, shadow crystals, massive bottleneck in this game. So I want to be able to get to the max level here for these different challenges, and I just don't have a good like 5th human. I got Miri up, and that was what I was using originally. She's bad. So I think what I'm going to actually do is get Aemir up. And there's a number of reasons for that. Kind of one, he just sort of rounds out the Rohan 3. You can see I've got him right here. I'm actually having an easier time like getting gear for characters than actually being able to level them up and level their skills up. But I think I should be able to take them to 5 stars. I'm probably going to stop at 3 for the time being, and just going to get him sort of in line with my other Rohan squad. Let me go down here. Just get him in line with Eowyn and Eothane, probably level 45 to 50, kind of gear 7, 3 stars. I'm going to finish getting her to 5 stars, or farming for 5 stars, but not take her to 5 stars. The reasoning for all that, I'm just continuously farming characters to 5 star, is just because we know that that's what's required for legendaries in the future. So just leaving at 5 stars, and then if I know that they're going to be actual legendary requirements like the elves are, then I'll take them to 7 stars. So Aemir's the big one. He's going to fill that hole. And then the other one is the shadow side. So that is, I believe, battle experience. Yes. Okay, so I'm also struggling here, and that's because I use the Isengard 3, With Ironhide, I could probably sub him out for Brute when I get Brute up. But Bolg, he's not as good without Tordok. He kind of is pretty squishy and he's always provoking, so that doesn't really help. I just don't think I've dumped enough resources into Bolg. So actually what I'm going to do is level up Ajak. This guy's a beast. He is a massive, massive damage dealer, right? So I've unlocked his nodes, so I'm going to continue to farm him up to 5 stars as well, but I'll probably stop at 3. Well, I won't promote him, but I'll get the shards. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. I'm going to slowly work on farming this guy up as well, and I'm just going to basically take both my Isengard and my Rohan squads up enough such that I can complete those challenges. And the whole goal here is that I just want to sort of square up my long-term resource collection. So if I have all of my challenges maxed out, then I know that I'm getting the maximum amount of like resources that I can possibly get for the time being. So Aemir and Azak, kind of my 2 big projects that I'm going to try to work on. Obviously, Brute's a beast. I'm going to try and maybe sub him into Arena, just mess around there. He's just a really good character. Obviously, you have to pay to get him quite a bit, but I have, so I might as well bring him up and use him. Now, you may be wondering, Swag, why aren't you leveling up your Haradrim? Why aren't you doing all this Haradrim stuff? I heard that Haradrim's going to be the next big thing. Don't you know that you need Haradrim for the Witch King? And I would say to you, that has only been data mined. We don't know when the Witch King is going to be released. It could be a month from now, which I don't think, or it could be 3 or 4 months from now, which I think is more likely to be later on than it is to be really soon, especially because we just had Elrond released, and we know that raids are coming up. So I currently am just taking them, again, all to 5 stars. If they're going to be a legendary requirement, I'm going to take them to 5 stars. Or I'm going to prep by taking them to 5 stars, and then if it turns out that way, then I will continue to farm them. So I should be able to get to 5 stars here with Wubate. Maybe I need a few more. I haven't done the math on that. I think I'm pretty close, or have done that. Maybe I need 310. And then, yeah, I'm just farming Yef2 and Robo Hard nodes, right? I'm getting a star on that, but no, I'm not going to gear them up. The other reason being that, like, yeah, okay, if it turns out that you need them for the Witch King, we learned from this event that you don't actually need to gear them up that much. So I'm going to kind of hold off on gearing them up until I get some more confirmation that these things are going to be happening pretty soon. We got the July calendar. It's not Haradrim. I don't think it's going to be like a Haradrim-focused month. I'm also not convinced that they're going to be like some sort of elf arena meta killer. So farming them, but I'm not gearing them up. That's kind of where I'm at. Really, what I am like focused on is actually, I know raids are coming soon, so I actually really want to get sort of a good source of raid teams. We don't have specifics on what exactly this first chapter is going to require, either unit-wise or objective-wise, or how many times you can go in with a certain, like, how many teams can you use per day on that particular raid. But I kind of want to just make sure I have a good, pool of raid teams. So obviously, Rivendell team, full Rivendell squad, including Lomian. That'll be one of my teams. The second one, probably going to be the Rohan 3. And then I'm going to use Halbarad and Strider with them. They've got great synergy. Everybody has used some version of that basically on early game. Great team, good sustain, got all the stuff that I need there. The other one, the Isengard 3 plus Azak, and then probably will use Ironhide with them. That's my kind of what I'm hoping to be my standard sort of shadow team, at least for campaigns and for completing stuff in the challenges. So that's 3 teams right there. I think that'll be pretty good. But then also my 4th, hopefully secret team, it's not secret because I'm obviously telling you in a video here, is going to be Brute, Bolg. Let's look up Misty Mountain. So Brute, Bolg, Tordok, mostly because I'm bringing Brute up. I have Bolg already up a decent ways, and Tordok has got resources in him too. And then you may have seen it already, who I have favorited here, Keely, and Feely. So I'm doing that for a number of reasons. One, I really love the dwarves. We stand short kings, and I want to like focus on the dwarf faction. They're kind of interesting to me. They're more interesting to me than elves as just like a fantasy faction, and particularly in Lord of the Rings. They're a great like combo duo, right? We got one with pretty mad DPS, and Feely is pretty good healer as well. So that's another reason. And then third, I have a viewer who keeps requesting that I make videos about Feely and Keely. And I don't want to make a video unless I've seen like a bunch of footage or I've personally played with those characters, so I can kind of give my own perspective instead of just like saying, oh, well, LOTR.gg says that this is how it should work. And so on paper, this is how it should work. Because for games like this, yes, on paper, matters, but not as much as like when you actually play with them and get to see what they're all about. So Feely and Keely, I'm upgrading them. I don't know how much, but I'm going to start doing that. And I actually think this might be a decent raid team. Again, we'll have to try it out. But Bolg has a 3-turn disable. Keely has a 3-turn disable. Bolg has that disrupt on his special too. We've got healing with Feely. He's got both passive sort of healing and like a healing skill. Keely, Bolg, and Brute on a team. Insane damage. We got Mike coming from Brute, and Keely just hits like a truck with all of his crits. And Bolg is like one of the highest damage, or if I think he is the highest damage character in this game. Massive. And then Tordok there because he obviously goes with Bolg. So I think that'll be I hopefully like a nice little raid team. It's got both AoE and massive single target damage and a lot of control and sustain. And so I'm pretty excited about that. It's actually like that sort of theory crafting, if you can call that gets me excited for these games. So regardless if it's not optimal for my account, I'm going to do it because I want to like do that. That's fun to me. So I'm going to start now working on Feely and Keely, kind of slowly getting them up. First, I got to fix my challenges, and then I'll start working on Feely and Keely. And obviously the elves are ahead of all of that. So that's what I'm working on, moving on to into the future, kind of preparing for raids and fixing some holes in my account. That's where I'm at right now. That's it for me. Thanks for watching.